Long, long ago, in the land of Aika, a village surrounded with green savanna, lived a young lady with a melodious voice that was so sweet. It could make rivers pause, the birds fall silent. Her name was Adima. Adima lived alone in a quiet hut by the hills. The villagers did not see her often, except during sacred ceremonies. But when she sang, oh, when she sang, the heavens seemed to lean closer. Her voice could melt sorrow, it could stir joy, and even heal the brokenhearted. But there was always this one rule whenever she sang. No one was allowed to look at her face. Whenever she performed, villagers would sit with their backs to her, or she would turn her back from the crowd. Children were often blindfolded, and even the chief could not dare see her face. So, a curious child once asked her mother, "Why must we not look at her, mother?" "Because to see her while she sings," her mother whispered, "is to invite the wrath of the spirits." Adima had been a carefree girl with a joyful spirit and a voice that leads the markets and the riverbanks. She used to sing without fear before the community, until one day, at the sacred river of Nsempi, she found an old god tied with a red thread, floating gently towards her. Out of curiosity, she opened it, and immediately she did, a wind blew through her body, and her voice changed. It became sweeter and heavenly. But along with that voice came a warning. "You may sing, but no eye shall see your face, or else the spirit within you shall rise and torment you until you die." Adima was terrified. She tried to stop singing to set herself free, but the spirit within her forced her, and sometimes would threaten her through her dreams and in trances. Sometimes she could even feel fire burning through her throat. She could only please the spirit and save herself as well with one rule: singing to the villagers without ever letting a soul look at her face. Soon, she became both adored and feared all over the village. The chief and the entire village protected her because anytime she sang, people received fortune. But unbeknown to them, Adima wept in secret. Her voice was no longer hers. She had become a vessel, and only she knew the secrets. A young lady named Sasa lived in the same village too. She was known to be a curious, smart, and bold young lady. And unlike others, she questioned what others simply accepted about Adima. Sasa had heard Adima's songs all her life while they grew up together. She was always inspired, but something didn't seem right to her. She could not understand why such a beautiful lady turned her back while she sang. Why should someone with such a gift be forced to hide? Or must the villagers turn their back while she sings? She would ask herself. She decided to find out for herself. She wanted answers. So one moonless night, when Adima was singing at the harvest festival, Sasa crept behind the hill, crawling silently through the bushes, and faced the back of the ceremonial ground. Everyone else sat with their backs turned, but Sasa bravely watched. All she saw shook her. Adime's face was not monstrous, like she had thought it would be, but a figure stood behind her while she sang. It was a faint shimmering spirit floating above her, and her lips moved with the spirit like she was merely a puppet. Tears streamed down Adime's face as she sang, as though trapped against her will. It was a white spirit, but it looked evil. As the last note echoed, the spirit vanished into her body, and Adima collapsed to her knees, breathless and broken. The next day, Sasa found Adima alone at the riverbank. "You saw me," Adima said bitterly. And now the curse will come for you too. No, Sasa said. I saw pain. I saw a woman imprisoned by a spirit against her wish. Adima turned away. You should not have looked at my face. She left in anger and sadness, but Sasa was determined to help her. She began seeking knowledge from the oldest elders and moving from one place to another, searching for answers, and at last she found one. The spirit is not evil as it looked, the priestess told her. It sings through her because it was silenced in its own time. It was once a great singer, a woman buried without honor in this village, and it lives in Adime's truth because her voice awakened it at the riverbank. Then how do we set it free? Sasa asked hurriedly. She must sing one song, a song of farewell. It must be sung willingly and while someone stares into her eyes with love, not fear. But either Adima or myself will die if care is not taken, right? Sasa asked, and the priestess only nodded. On the next full moon, Sasa gathered a small crowd in the middle of the village. She lit a fire, scattered palm leaves, and called for Adima. At first, Adima refused. You don't understand. If the spirit arises in rage, it will kill both of us. Then let me be the one to face it, Sasa said. No one should live bound in fear and doing what is against one's will. But with Sasa's persistence, Adima eventually gave in, reluctant but hopeful. Adima stood before her, shaking in fear. She closed her eyes gently and began to sing. But this time, it was not the spirit's melody alone. It was hers too. The spirit rose shortly after, furious and scary. But Sasa did not flinch. Instead, she stared into Adime's tearful eyes with compassion. You have been heard, melodious one, Sasa said to the spirit. You can rest now and set her body free. Then slowly, Adima smiled, and with one final haunting note, the spirit faded like mist into the wind. From that day on, Adima sang freely with her beautiful face to the crowd. Her voice was still beautiful, but now it was hers. Fortune still accompanied her melody. Her laughter returned, and her soul was lighter again. The villagers rejoiced and embraced her. And Sasa, she became known as the woman who freed the spirit's voice. The moral of this story is that what we fear in others sometimes is only a reflection of what we don't understand. Thank you for listening. If this is your first time on this channel, please subscribe. Subscribe so we grow together. Thank you. See you next week. Bye-bye. Remember, when you say a prayer, say one for this channel. Thank you. See ya.